What's up, everybody? It's your favorite display options, favorite nerd. Today we are looking at the complex base building system by Ragin Spoon Toys. They contacted me and wanted to send me this, which I was very grateful for and touched by, but I like to be transparent here and let everybody know what time it is. And asked me if I'd be interested in taking a look at this. I love display stuff. I love dioramas, so I said absolutely. It's for 1/18 scale, so your G.I. Joes, your Star Wars 3 3/4, stuff like that. You know, I don't usually show packaging, but I wanted to let you know because as far as I know, you have to order off of their Facebook page. If you just look up Complex by Ragin Spoon Toys, or the link will be in the description below, you'll be able to get there. But ordering stuff off a Facebook page, sometimes I think people can be like, man, what kind of rinky-dink operation is this? But I wanted to let you know that it like comes in like a proper box and everything. Like it's fairly professional presentation. So it's just a quick little simple Sunday video, but I wanted to take a look at these. I wanted to let you know where you can get them because they're pretty sweet. And let's get them out of the box. All right, so the first one we're looking at is the Series 1 Floor Urban. It comes with two plates. It has like a concrete look on one side, and then it has this kind of graded look on the other side. And you can use it as the floor or the wall. It's up to you. It's just plastic. There's no paint. You'd have to paint these yourself, obviously, in order to get them to kind of really look up to snuff. But it comes with 4 different connector strips, and they're all, you'll be able to see, they look different at the bottom. Like, one is an L, and then there's a bunch of straight ones. And the way that these work is you can take the straight one, slide it in, and then take your other wall and slide it on top. And then you have like part 1 of your display, which is pretty sweet. But it is cool that it gives you a bunch of options. So if I slide in my L piece, and then just to switch it up, slide in this grate here, and this would go against like a back wall or something, you know, and then you have that look. And then you can just kind of just keep building them and building them. So we'll use a floor connector piece here, which is just the slots on both sides, you know, and we'll slide that in. And then take another concrete slab and slide that in. And then we'll just slide another one here. And then we can slide another one of these guys in. And then in order to fix this gap, we'll take our 3-prong piece, and I guess you could probably do it with just 2. Slide that down, you know, and like it's pretty sweet. So then we'll take another L. We're just gonna build one little section here. We'll take another L here. And we'll put up another grate wall. And then we'll just kind of fix some of these gaps. Put one here, and then we'll put another one here. And then like you got like this little display space, and you can build it, like you can keep building levels and levels, and it's like, it's pretty awesome. It's pretty smart. So let's build the other one, and then we'll come back and put some figures in them. So you get these pieces with the second piece that's called the Urban Wall Series 1. Now you can have this, or you can have this more technical kind of look. You can choose either one you want. You know, it all depends on how you want to have it. And you can have the door be removable if you want to have something behind that as well. It's kind of up to you. I'll put it back in place later. Now, you can have this piece, and you can build like, because you don't have to have this working with the rest of the set. So you can have this piece across here, kind of fills in the gap, or could fill in a different space. You have this piece that sort of slides in underneath. And then it can kind of be like a freestanding wall, and you can actually take this piece and plug it in, and now you have like a step, you know, and you can kind of use this independently, which is pretty sweet. They did put some paint on here, some blue paint, which is just interesting to see. I would love to talk to them, like ask what it's like to get all this stuff made from a production side of things. I may have this in backward, upside down rather. But it's pretty sweet, and I think it's a pretty cool concept, and I'd like to see what else they can come up with. You know, I think it's gonna add, I think it has potential to add a lot. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this freestanding. I don't know why this peg is giving me a hard time now. Oh, because I got it in upside down. I'm gonna get this in freestanding. We'll do some pictures and stuff, and then I'm gonna show it with how it connects to the rest of the set that we just looked at. So here I just removed one of the walls that we built, and then I'm gonna replace it with this one. No problem. You know, and I don't know, it's pretty smart, clever, fun stuff. Like it's fun building it. I can see how this would get expensive to buy so many in order to kind of really, because I think your imagination would start to get a hold of you. But let's see how the figures look in them. So there it is with the G.I. Joe, and that's what it's kind of made for. So it's no surprise that that looks great. I think the guy's a big G.I. Joe fan. And I mean, stuff like this is going to add a ton to your display. But let's take a look at other options if you're not necessarily a G.I. Joe fan. It should come as no surprise it's going to work for Star Wars 3 3/4, being as though they're the same scale. And stuff like these walls really work. These walls, maybe for some displays, maybe not as much. But I mean, like, this looks like perfect for Star Wars stuff, that door piece. Your Figuarts Turtles will work, not with the door. The door you won't be able to use, but if you use the rest of the building connections, it looks just fine. Now I have the camera line right at the top of the wall, so unfortunately the import 112 stuff is just slightly too big, which is a bummer because if they'd have just gone a little bit larger with the dimension of the square, they could have probably gotten away with both. So obviously if it doesn't work for import 112, it's not gonna work for American 112 because they tend to run a little bit bigger anyway. However, if you're a 40K or other miniature tabletop playing guy, these should work just fine, and they're a quick and easy way to kind of lay out or help lay out your landscape that's going to add some interesting visual elements and cues to your game. So final thoughts wise, it's a strong recommend for me, but I will say, just criticism wise, I wish they would have gone just a tad bit bigger so they could have double dipped into that 112 scale. But otherwise, I think you'll be happy. There's some paint accents on the grates I just noticed as well. Like there is some highlights, like some subtle highlights it looks like, at least on that one. Maybe I'm off base, I'm not entirely sure. But I think you'll be happy with this purchase because they're fun to build. It's kind of challenging to kind of make it all work for you, wrap your head around it and kind of get it to work. But I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think it's a fun thing, like a challenging transformation that's just challenging enough to keep you interested. The sculpt work is good. I think it's easy to go overboard on sculpt work with stuff like this, but I think subtle sculpt work is what actually ends up selling it, and I think it has a subtlety to it. Like there's no real limit to the way that this stuff can work though. I mean, you can have doors running down and corridors and doors open and they can travel between rooms, and there's an awful lot you can do with this. I'd love to see a ton more of their designs. I'd love to see some variation outside of the G.I. Joe stuff, but I know that G.I. Joe is kind of their passion, at least I think anyway. But I think it's a pretty interesting and clever idea, and I love to support people in the community making things for people in the community. Like that always is, it just turns my gears. Not grinds them, mind you, but turns them, which is supposed to be complimentary, but I'm not sure it's a real statement. I just made it up, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, thanks to Ragin Spoon and the complex base building system, folks. I think you guys are on to something. I'm happy and fortunate to have taken a look at it myself. I'm curious to see what you have in the future, and it's a strong recommend for me. Their information's in the description. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.